Shalom.
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 Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Yasharella.
Shalom.
Peace to the 12 tribes. You know, this is we are the trees of righteousness.
That's right.
Back at a, right back, as Captain Jehu here.
I'm Chief Yamea.
General Hezekiah.
Khan. And we're the trees of righteousness, y'all. We back at it, trying to come up with another class just to feed the sheep, go over. Today we got something, Sabbath class. It's a little late, because I know for most people the Sabbath is all the way over or about to be over. If you're on the West Coast, it's not over yet. But either way, this is good edification. We like to reach out and be we like to be present our information there and present ourselves before the flock. It's good to see each other, like we said, and it's good to congregate. So we got a nice little class for you today. We're going to talk about this video is about biblical family tree. As you can see, biblical family tree from Adam and Eve to the Roman times. I think it's good edification because a lot of us, especially coming out of the Christian church, we don't have an understanding of the what they call it, the intertestamental times or something like that, which is the time between Malachi and Matthew, the Old Testament and the New Testament, the Apocrypha years. We don't understand about the split in First Kings of how the kingdom split up, and the northern and the southern kingdoms where it become their own countries, and they went into separate captivities. So this will kind of bridge the gap a little bit and give a little bit better understanding. So it's good there. This week that we're going to do today, Most High willing.
Yeah, Salaki, it's always good to get edification, right, for our people, man. Right. It's good that we're able to come in and do these videos and break them down for our people, help them understand, right? Because how would they know unless they have teachers, man? Right.
That's right.
So the shepherds that the Lord send out, man, we got to do exactly what Christ told Nicodemus, man. We got to help them be born again, man. We got to get rid of all that folliness of what was taught to them by Christianity, right? And by us going through these videos and breaking it down and using scripture, because we script code scholar, is very important, right? That we break this thing down for our people, man, to see the healing of our nation, Israel. So, you ready for me to start this?
Well, first, all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. You know what I mean? That's all glory, honor, and praises to the Most High God. In the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai.
And this is fair use.
Fair use, fair use. Also, and we're not standing on every point of this video. I kind of looked at it a little bit before, and I figured, it's a good foundation. It's some things that could be disputable in here. Certain dates may be here or there, but it's good nevertheless because it's already, it's got the from A to Z, put on a chart there, and we can fill in the blanks as we go.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm ready whenever you are, King.
You ready? All right, let's start this
up.
Hi, this is Matt Baker. Today I'm going to show you the entire family tree of the Bible, all the way from Adam and Eve to the time of Jesus. I have done previous videos featuring various sections of this tree, but I've never done the whole thing in a single video. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'll be using the new version of our biblical family tree chart, which is now available as a poster from our website, usefulcharts.com. This version includes a lot of new features, so I'll be highlighting them along the way.
Lock. Put that one on hold. That's the wrong one by Salakia. That is or at least it's not the one that I looked at earlier. Let me get that one. Hold one moment. One moment. I'm sending it to the chat. Boom. All right. Now looking in the chat, see if you see if y'all can see that one. See if y'all's match up with that one.
Let me go over here. Hold on one second and see if I can get it pulled up. Let's see. Hold on.
While you do that, I'm gonna say a little bit. But yeah, this is good. This is good for our viewers and all the babes in the all the babes in Yasharala. So you can kind of have a foundation, of understanding of what happened, between some people know about the story of David, some people don't. Some people don't know what happened from when we got into Egypt and when we came out, and they don't know all those years between that and Christ. And some people do. So this is going to give a good understanding of a decent understanding of the things and that happened, took place, how it became a nation, and then our downfall as well. It'll fill in a lot of gaps, and then it actually goes a little bit after Christ and tells about that history.
That'll lay down a good foundation for those who might have already read and then just need to brush up on a little bit of the history.
Come. Now what I got it from, I looked at it on X, so I don't know if it's the exact same one that would be on like a YouTube or something like that.
Well, it should be on that YouTube too, I think. So let me go here and check and grab it real quick and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hold on. See if this is the one. I'll put it in there, and you can tell me if it is.
Okay. And happy Shabbat to the 12 tribes. Akim's out there on the highways and byways. We pray protection and peace to you. Peace to the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad.
Okay, this one kind of start out. Tell me if this is the one for you, Cap, that you're looking for.
Okay.
Let's see here. No,
Shalom, God. Shalom to Reggie Mills. Shalom, God.
Shalom, God.
Oh, you got it. You already got it. Okay.
Yeah, I saw him. I guess spot him, got him.
Got him. Hold on. Tell me if this is it, gang. Can you see that screen, Cap?
I can see it. That look like the same one.
Is it? Yeah, it looks. Hold on, that's the wrong one then.
Hey, you on mute, Cap? I can't hear you.
Let's see, don't show that one that he's used. He would probably have to get it from where he got it from and probably send it, because it's pulling up the same ones up on yeah, it ain't working. It's pulling up the same ones on YouTube.
Yeah, Cap having some problems. Look like having some technical. You can't hear or no, I can't hear you. Can't hear you, Cap.
Yeah, I can't hear him at all.
Yeah, you might have to go backstage and then come back up and see if that fixes it. Chief, you might have to put him backstage and then pull him back up. Yeah, it don't look like he can do it.
Okay, let me come back to that. Yeah. He left.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he left? Okay.
Yeah.
You might have to just go with that one if we can't find it. We have to see what he said about that.
I think it's a particular one that he wants. We have to get it from.
Yeah, he wanted it from X.
Because I haven't seen that. I'm very interested in it, but I haven't seen it. So
Same here. Hey, just be patient with us. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're getting
yeah, I'll
everything.
praise you. Get everything set up and hit for him. Get in here. There he is. Hold on.
Shalom.
Shalom. There you are.
Hey, we can hear you.
I
We can hear you
hear.
now.
You couldn't hear
You couldn't hear or be heard
at all.
Dang.
Yeah, Cap, you might have to send that. Like, do you know how to send it to the private chat there so we can put it on there? Cause
that the one that you just had, the last one before I left, that was the right one.
That was?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the right one.
All right.
Now it could be that the one I seen on X was the same one that he put up the first time. It's just shorter. I don't know. The one I'm looking at, it's like 31 minutes 54 seconds.
I think is that one we just had with that 31 minutes.
The very last one looked like it was the right one.
Okay, let me see. Hold on.
Okay. But yeah, hopefully we can get that up there. Hey. Shalom, Sister Kana.
Shalom. Shalom, sis.
Let's see here.
Yeah, that look like that's it.
Which is now
35 minutes. Oh, maybe they just they cut off some of the fluff in the
a
beginning.
lot of new features.
Okay.
Yeah, you might want to slide through it a little bit. Maybe about 4 minutes. Come back a little bit. Come back a little bit. A little more. A little more. A little more. Around there. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's play. Tell me when y'all want to stop.
But as you probably know, Cain kills Abel out of jealousy, and therefore Adam and Eve have a third son named Seth. And it is through Seth that the biblical story continues. Now, in a previous video, I got a lot of questions about who Seth married in order to have his children. Well, according to the Bible, Adam and Eve had many other sons and daughters, even though they aren't named. So, based on tradition, the assumption is that Seth would have married one of his sisters, and that subsequent generations would have married their cousins, and so on.
Stop there real quick.
Now, I should point out that in this.
So that's one stopping point that kind of struck me when I was watching it in the beginning. Through precepts and understanding, we know that Adam and Eve were not the very first people on earth.
Nope.
They weren't the very first people on earth. You want to bring out a precept on that?
Yeah. Let me get it at Genesis 1, and I start at 20. Let me start at 26. I started 26 and work my way down real quick. All right. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26. It says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over all creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth."
Right.
27. So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him. Male and female created he him them.
Right. He them.
Now here's the one. And God blessed them. Pay attention to this. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and
Right.
over the fowls of the air, and over every living thing that moveth on the earth.
Mm. Con,
Let me
con.
let me say
That's
one thing.
showing you, and this is
Yeah,
before we even get to Adam's creation.
that's right.
You know,
That's
it said
right.
the Lord created,
Them,
yeah,
Yeah.
them,
no
them.
name.
You
Come on.
know, um,
And that's something big too, man, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of
right.
people don't, they think just because they know Adam and Eve, they think they was the first ones here. But here is
Mhm.
God telling you, I created them and told
Right.
them, go subdue the earth. But he didn't say their names yet. You won't get that to Genesis 5.
Right.
So,
Okay.
this is very good precept right here, breakdown of that, man, with this
That's right.
video. That's right.
That's right.
Go ahead, Cap.
What?
You got it, King.
All right, let me
General,
go.
you got it. What you say?
Oh, I was just gonna say I was gonna bring out that Genesis 5.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. Go
Before you
ahead,
do
go
that,
ahead.
let me get the two. Let me get two real quick where he created Adam, just to show that
Go
that
ahead.
wasn't
Okay.
Adam he was talking about.
Kind.
Genesis 2:7. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul."
Mm-hmm.
So this is going into where the Most High created Adam. You know, this is Genesis 2. What we were just reading was Genesis 1.
That's right.
You know, and the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there He put the man whom He had formed.
That's
You
right.
know, and I'm trying to get to the part where He called him, where He named him.
Oh, uh,
Where is the name? Where is that? Where He named him Adam. Okay, Con.
That's it.
21,
Yeah.
2
Go
and
ahead.
21. Con. And the Lord Yahweh caused a deep sleep. Salakia, it's actually 20.
yeah.
Is it 20?
Hold on.
That's 25. Salaki.
Yeah, let me get I'm gonna go to 18. And the
Okay.
Lord Yahweh said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him." And out of the ground the Lord Yahweh formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. You know, so that's just showing you, proving that we're talking about Adam here in chapter 2, right? But in chapter 1, the Lord said He had already made them, so it was different
Mm-hmm.
people. It wasn't just one person.
That's
You
right.
know, our Christian understanding was that Adam was the first person, and there's only one person till He make Eve, and then they start procreating. But the Lord in verse 1, chapter 1, excuse me, it says that He created them. You know, and you got it, King.
Oh, I was going to bring out that where it was talking about where he named them Adam.
Yes, Adam.
Okay.
That's
Over
the,
Right.
in
the difference.
Genesis 5.
Right.
It's Genesis 5 and 2.
That's
And
right.
reads, male and female created he them.
Them.
Like it's, and we know we're not talking about just Adam himself. He said male and female, he created them and blessed them and called their name Adam in the
Mm-hmm.
day when they
All of
were
it.
created.
Come.
And that's very important, man, because that falls back to John 17:9, where the Lord said, I pray for them and I pray not for the world. That's the
Yeah.
them, right?
Created He them, and they called
That's
them
right.
all Adam. He named them all Adam.
He
Women
sure
and
did.
men, Adam.
Adam.
That's
There
right.
you go. Yeah. That's good.
Hey, what's your name? Oh, Adam. I'm Adam.
Adam. We were looking at the George Foreman movie the other day, and I was telling my kids how he named like 4 or 5 of his sons the same. All of them name was George or something
George
like
one.
Right.
that. Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so yeah, so we're showing, we're just proving that uh Cain did not take his, well, Adam and Eve weren't the first people on earth.
Right.
You know, So Cain didn't just go into his sisters there. He went into the sons of the men that were there around the garden,
That's right.
and that's where he got his wife from.
Yeah.
To keep it simple.
We got to remember nothing's new under the sun. So
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, keep on going, Ken.
Keep on going. All right.
Yeah.
This video, I'm not going to be discussing whether or not the early parts of this tree are literary or literal history. I'll leave that decision up to you. If you want to hear my take, I'll link to some previous videos in the description where I do dive into that. But in this video, I'm just going to follow the tree as it is described in the Bible.
Salakia, King, y'all just want to say something. Damn. And some Edomites they showing?
Yeah, that's the ugly part about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think once they get into the Kings, they start looking like Puerto Ricans or light-skinned brothers or something. But the Edomites, man. And we all know. Matter of fact, that's a good stopping point because hold on. Let me get to where he made Adam. It says, what we just read, Genesis 2:7. It says, and the Lord, the Most High, formed man of the dust of the ground.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So, going into precepts that, even just the understanding, you ain't never seen no white dirt. We know he's talking about earth. He made Adam, and everybody knows you come from the earth, and when you die, you're gonna go back to the earth. He dug in the earth and made Adam. So this is a brown man.
That's right.
This is a dark-skinned man.
Melanated man. That's right.
Exactly, a melanated man. So we already know they're giving us visual lies, but we're gonna be able to separate the meat from the bones on this. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And so so yes, we know Adam and Eve were melanated people.
Right. So and also too, to go along with that too, while you're talking about dust, I'm gonna drop down to Genesis 13 and 16. I'm gonna go ahead and feed the bone, get some meat on that bone too. Let me bring that out. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered of the earth. So we know, man, what lineage how shall come from, man. Right? It's gonna come from the seed, from this seed right here, man. So we know that ain't no such thing as no white dirt or anything, man. It's still gonna be brown, dust of the ground, man.
That's right.
Right? That's very important for our people to understand that these Jewish people have came along and try to take our heritage, our culture, and make it their own by saying, no, we're the true descendants. No, the seed, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're looking at them on the face of the earth, man.
That's right.
That's right.
Come on, man. That's a good breakdown on that. Let's get some more on that, man.
So Seth has a son named Enosh, and then 7 generations later, we get the next main character in the Bible, Noah. Noah's the one who built the ark and filled it up with animals in order to escape the great flood. At this point, everyone on earth dies, except for Noah and his wife and their 3 sons and their wives. So there are 8 people in total who then go on to repopulate the earth. The Bible doesn't mention the name of Noah's wife or his daughters-in-law, but we do know that his 3 sons were named Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem has 5 sons, Ham has 4, and Japheth has 7, for a total of 16 grandsons for Noah. In most cases, the names of these 16 grandsons match the names of nations that would eventually form in the Near East, such as Asher.
So let me just break down that Ham real quick, just to just to get an understanding, because the Christianity, that white supremacy Christianity tells us that the black man comes from Ham.
That's right. That's what they say.
Yeah. So again, we're going to break this down real quick. I don't want to keep on, but I'm going to break it down real quick. Who Ham is the father of? Is he the father of the so-called Negroes or not? Let's see. So this is the Bible Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. The definition for Ham. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites, right? So the
Right.
Negroes do not come from the middle son there, Ham. That is for the real Africans, right? But we understand that all three of these sons were melanated people. All three of them were dark skinned people. These were all melanated people. Now, different types of people are going to come out of these sons, but right here, where we are, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's three sons, those are all melanated people. And the Negroes do not come from Ham. We actually come from Shem.
That's right. That's right. That's
That's
right.
right.
That's a lot. That's a great point too. Let's go ahead and get that too, to show them why it's important that we know that we're different and we're not the same descendants coming from Ham. That this is the General, let's get that in Genesis 9 and let's start at 20. Let's start at 22, and we'll show them why it's important that we understand that we descend from Shem and not Ham, right? And a lot of them try their best to cover this up, man. But I'm gonna show you something, man. This is a good time. Y'all just we're gonna break everything down for you real quick. Want y'all to see why it's important, because Ham on these other two sons, Ham has his curse. So the world trying to say today is that we are Hamites, we are Africans. And Cap just read it in the Zonderman's Bible dictionary to prove to you he's the father of the dark race, but not the Negroes. Wow. Right. Let's bring it on down here, man. Let's break this thing on down.
God, this is Genesis 9, starting at verse 22. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without.
See, here this is Ham. He done saw his father nakedness, right? Done went and to tell it to his two brothers, man. It's like a joke and everything, but watch the judgment that's going to come upon him for that, man. Keep going.
And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backwards, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servant. Cursed be Canaan."
Canaanites.
There you go.
A servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren.
See, that's where that confusion. And we're gonna get 26-2 here in a minute, but let me break this down about Ham, man. This is where they get the saying that black people sow black people, right? Because they can say that makes up for the curse in the Bible. Because didn't he curse Ham? Didn't Joseph Smith say that one of the curses was turning their white skin dark? Right? So we looking at it right now that he's cursed. Here's the Lord telling for what you did, for how you saw your father. You're cursed. This is the separation that the Lord is telling you he's going to put between Israel and these Egyptians, man. Right? Watch this very next verse, because this is very important. And we're going to
verse number 26.
Watch this.
And he said, "Blessed be the Lord God of Shem."
Of who?
Of Shem.
He didn't say of Ham or Japheth. He didn't say that. He said of Shem.
That's right.
How can we be anti-Semitic if we Shemitic? I don't understand that.
Right.
We reading it right here, man. And you just broke it down and showed that Ham is the father of the dark race, but not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes.
They know we come from Shem. They know we Shemitic, man.
Right.
They know the truth, brother.
Right.
Because we are blessed because he's our God. That's why Noah said, "Blessed be the God of Shem." We are the descendants from that, man.
That's right.
I digress, man.
That's right.
Break down. Dropping the mic already early. I ain't even got hot yet.
Sometimes you got to do it like that, King.
Yeah. You're good?
Yeah.
All right, let's go on.
One more thing. Last thing. Salakia. Last thing. They're gonna do a pretty good understanding of who these people are. But last thing, we gotta understand that Canaan is the one that the Lord said was cursed. Canaan comes from Ham, so Canaan is a dark nation. Israel is in the land of Canaan, or actually Egypt, all of that, that's the land of Canaan. It's still the same thing. Israel is Palestine. That's the son of the Philistines, who is the son of, I believe it's Put. So it's still a Hamite. It's a dark area. All those nations are dark nations. So that's Israel is in the midst of a dark nation. You know what I mean? So they come with all of that silly stuff. the white dude the other day, he came and talking about where is he was trying to tell us that the white folks over there in Israel are the Israelites. They're the real Jews. And I'm like, well, if they're the real Jews, then I'm trying to say, how did they get over there in that land? That land, that's the land of Canaan. That's the land of Palestine or the
Yeah,
Philistines. Those are
yeah,
dark nations.
that's
Israel is
right.
in the midst of a
Time,
dark nation.
time,
And that's it.
mm, time. Well, you can't get around that though. They trying to though. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Mizraim, which corresponds with Egypt, and
Mhm.
Javan, which corresponds to Greece. But it is in the line of Shem's son Arphaxad that the Bible focuses on. He has a son named Selah, who has a son named Eber, which is perhaps the basis for the word Hebrew. 5
Right.
generations down
Right.
from
That's right.
Eber, we get a man named Terah, who lives in Mesopotamia, which is modern day
Mm.
Iraq. And he has 3 sons named Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. Haran dies in Mesopotamia, and sometime after this, the rest of the family, including Haran's son Lot, decides to move to the land of Canaan, which God had promised to Abraham and his descendants. Canaan basically corresponds to
Canaan.
modern day Israel and Palestine.
Remember, that's the
Terah
black
dies
son.
along the way in
Mhm.
Syria, and this is where Nahor decides to settle. However, Abraham and Lot continue on to Canaan. Abraham's main wife was a woman named Sarah, and eventually we learn that she is also his half sister. So presumably she was a child of Terah through a different mother. Sarah has trouble having a child, so she gets Abraham to marry her servant Hagar, who gives him a son named Ishmael. But eventually Sarah has a son as well, miraculously, at age 90. That son is named Isaac and becomes Abraham's main heir. After Sarah dies, Abraham then marries for a 3rd time to a woman named Keturah, and they have several sons, one of whom is named Midian. Isaac ends up marrying Rebekah, who is the granddaughter of Nahor, and thus is his first cousin once removed. Together, they have 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. Jacob, whose name is later changed to Israel, becomes the progenitor of the Israelites, which is why Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are known as the 3 patriarchs or fathers. However, before we look at the Israelites, let me point out some other people groups who, according to the Bible, were distantly related to them. Later, once the kingdoms of Israel and Judah are established, their closest neighbors will be the kingdoms of Moab, Ammon, and Edom. According to the Bible, the Moabites and the Ammonites are the descendants of Lot, whereas the Edomites are the descendants of Esau. Further
Mhm.
south are the Midianites, who, as you probably guessed, are the descendants of Midian. And then below them are the Arabs, who are the descendants of Ishmael. According to
Stop it
Islamic
real quick, King.
tradition,
Real
So
quick. Yeah, I just wanted to say that everybody he just now pointed out, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Midianites, the Ishmaelites, even the Edomites,
that's right.
all Shemitic, all Semitic, all Semitic peoples, but you only hear one people talking screaming anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
But all of those people are Semitic.
Right.
Wow.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Muhammad is a descendant of Abraham's son Ishmael, whereas Jesus is a descendant of Abraham's son Isaac, which is why Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are known as Abrahamic religions. I should also point out Job at this point. The Bible is not clear on exactly how he connects to the tree, although he is generally thought to fit in sometime during the period of the patriarchs. Okay, let's now look at Jacob and his 12 sons. Jacob marries 2 sisters, Leah and Rachel, who are the daughters of Rebekah's brother, Laban. This makes Laban his uncle, and his 2 wives his first cousins. He also has children with Leah and Rachel's 2 servants, Bilhah and Zilpah. Each of Jacob's 12 sons becomes the progenitor of one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Out of the 12, the 2 most important end up being Levi and Judah, which is why they get special colors. So note that from this point onwards, red is used for the tribe of Levi, blue for the tribe of Judah, and yellow for all the other tribes. However, before we move on, I should point out Joseph, the firstborn of Jacob's favorite wife, Rachel. He's the one who is sold by his brothers and then winds up in Egypt, where he becomes second in command under the Pharaoh. The Bible doesn't tell us the name of that Pharaoh, but the context suggests that the Joseph story might be connected to the 15th dynasty of Egypt, which is when a Semitic group known as the Hyksos ruled the Nile Delta.
They
While
were
Joseph
Semitic.
is ruling in Egypt,
Yeah.
there's a famine in Canaan, and therefore Jacob's entire family ends up moving to Egypt, where they reunite with Joseph. Note that in Egypt, Joseph becomes the father of Ephraim and Manasseh, which is why in the Bible, the tribe of Joseph is actually considered to be two tribes, the tribe of Ephraim and the tribe of Manasseh. Anyhow, while in Egypt, the Israelites grow in number and eventually are forced to be slaves. Which brings us to the next main character in the biblical story, Moses, from the tribe of Levi. He is chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of Egypt and back to the land of Canaan, the promised land. He does this with the help of his brother Aaron, who becomes the first Israelite high priest. The story of the Israelites' escape from Egypt is called the Exodus, and it involves several famous events such as the parting of the Red Sea and God giving the 10 Commandments. Now, once again, the Bible does not tell us the name of the Pharaoh involved in the Exodus story. However, the two most likely candidates are Tutmos III, if you choose to follow the timeline literally, or Ramses II, if you choose to go by context. The Israelites end up wandering in the desert for 40 years, during which time Moses dies. And therefore, it is Joshua from the tribe of Ephraim who ends up leading the Israelites into the land of Canaan, where they
Right.
conquer the locals and divide things up among the 12 tribes. Initially, each tribe has its own leaders, with special individuals called judges rising up from time to time whenever a coalition is needed. Some of the most famous judges include Gideon, Deborah, and Samson. It is sometime during this period that the Merneptah stele was made, which contains the oldest reference to the people of Israel outside of the Bible. It is named after Pharaoh Merneptah, the son of Ramses II. But returning to the biblical account, eventually the Israelites want a king. So a leader named Samuel from the tribe of Levi anoints Saul from the tribe of Benjamin. Note that Samuel, like Moses, is called a prophet. A prophet being someone who receives messages from God and communicates them to the people. So Saul becomes the first king of the Israelites. But God ends up being unhappy with him and later instructs Samuel to secretly anoint a boy named David from the tribe of Judah as his replacement. As a boy, David serves as a musician for Saul and then becomes popular with the people after killing a giant named Goliath. Eventually, Saul gets jealous and David has to go into hiding, even though David is best
Salakia,
friends
King.
with Saul's son.
What's coming up is he's going to do like a biblical a timeline, you know, from world history all the way back to Adam and Eve. He's gonna, and it's pretty interesting to see. I know this is a lot of talking, and it's some you know, like we said, you can separate the meat from the bones. We understand that we're talking about all melanated people, you know, for real, other than the Edomites and some of the
Yeah.
other little nations. But it'll get a little more interesting in just a minute.
Yeah, it's good homework here too, though, man. It
Yeah.
shows that people can look at this and then go and you can find it in the Bible and break it down and understand it's melanated, like you said, man. We can strip that confusion up about when it comes to what nationality or what it looks like.
On Jonathan,
Oh yeah.
and also ends up marrying Saul's daughter, Michal. In the end, Saul and Jonathan die in battle, and David becomes king, although initially he was only king of his own tribe, as Saul's son Ishbosheth becomes king over the rest of Israel. But eventually, David defeats Ishbosheth and becomes king of all 12 tribes. David makes Jerusalem his capital, and during his reign, he lusts after a woman named Bathsheba, having her husband killed so that he can marry her. With Bathsheba, he has a
Salakia,
son
real
named
quick.
Solomon, who goes on to become.
Sorry, I don't remember Ishbosheth being the king over the. I remember they were kind of, you know, Saul had died, and then half the people wanted to roll with David, and then some of the people was okay with Ishbosheth, and then the house of I don't remember Ishbosheth actually being king. Now, you know, and it may just be, you know, a little bit of word play or mix up. You know, dealing with Esau, man, you really got to be on point. You can't sleep.
Yeah, you can't just sleep.
Nah, you can't sleep. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't remember them. Huh?
I was saying he'll sneak around and change all of history.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Because little by little, that's why he said the Most High said, "Hey, a little bit of leaven up the whole lump."
All
You know what I
right.
mean? That's why I'm saying we ain't using this for doctrine. It's good to just pick it apart and look at how you know what I mean, what he trying to, you know what I mean, what they trying to feed you or feed the masses, you know. Um, but yeah, I know Ishbosheth was the head of the other household, and that was the one he was lame, wasn't he, on his feet? Uh,
Actually, I found that account what he's talking about.
What is that
Um,
first?
second Samuel 2:10. It reads, Ishbosheth's son was 40 years old when he
oh,
began to reign over Israel, and he
con,
and reigned 2 years. But the house of Judah followed David.
okay, con.
Okay.
I stand corrected. Salakia. Con. So Ishbosheth, what? Wow. But whenever we talking about kings, you never bring that
Never
out. Like
heard it.
Ishbosheth,
You never
you go
hear
from
about him.
you
No.
go from Saul to David to Solomon. You know what I
Solomon.
mean? But yeah,
Khan.
I never even thought about that, and I'm glad we stopped it there because I stand corrected. You know, so he
True.
had all it, but David was just king over Judah. Okay,
Right.
huh?
Yeah, was that Second Samuel 2?
2 and 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2:10. Yeah, I didn't even remember that myself. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, let me look through here real quick.
Yeah. Now, I believe Ishbosheth, was he not the one that was lame in his feet? Um, let me see. No, that's Saul's son.
Hmm.
No, I might be thinking of what's Saul's other son that David was best friends with? Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Jonathan had
Jonathan.
a son that was lame, I believe, and Saul showed him good kindness and everything. Oh man, I got you know what I mean. Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, let me get let me get Second Samuel chapter 4, King.
Okay, Second Samuel chapter 4. From the top.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is Second Samuel chapter 4 from the top. And when Saul's son heard that Abner was dead in Hebron, his hands were feeble, and all the Israelites were troubled.
Right.
And Saul's son had two men that were captains of bands, and the name of one was Benaiah. I said that wrong. Baanah. There you go. And the name of the other, Rechab, the son of Rimmon, a Beerothite of the children of Benjamin. For Beeroth was reckoned to Benjamin. And the
Con.
Beerothite, oh, did you want me to continue?
Yes, sir. My bad.
Con. Verse 3. And the Beerothites fled to Githam and were sojourners there until this day. And Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son that was lame of his feet.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking about. Come on.
Yeah.
He was 5 years old when the tidings came of Saul and Jonathan out of Jezreel.
Mm-hmm.
And his nurse took him up and fled. And it came to pass, as she made haste to flee, that he fell and became lame. And his name was Mephibosheth.
Yeah,
I think it's
Mephibosheth. So you got
Mephibosheth.
Ishbosheth and then Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth is Jonathan's son, and Ishbosheth is the king that we're talking about.
So
Okay, so the point is coming up right next.
Verse 5. And the sons of Ramon, Beerothite, Rechab, and Baanah went and came about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth,
That's him.
who laid on a bed at noon.
This is the king.
And they came thither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat. And they smote him under the fifth rib.
That fifth rib.
Mm. And Rechab and Baanah, his brother, escaped.
Con.
For when they had come into, you want me to continue or?
My bad. You got it. You
I'll stop that. Oh no, I wasn't sure if you wanted to stop. I got you. God. Verse 7. For when they came into the house, he laid on his bed in his bedchamber, and they smote him and slew him and beheaded him and took his head and gat them away through the plain at night, all night. And they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David to Hebron, and said to the king, behold, the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, thine enemy, which sought thy life. And the Lord have avenged my lord the king this day of Saul and of his seed.
Con. So thank you, King, the water for that. So what happened is Ishbosheth, like we reading, Ishbosheth, like he said, was the king after Saul of Israel, and then David was the king of Judah. But now what we're reading is that two men conspired to kill Ishbosheth in order to please David. And so they did. They killed the king of Israel and brought the head to David. Now David is so much of a man after the Lord's own heart, you know, and he loves his people truly, because he had several times to kill King Saul, who wanted to kill him. They were going back and forth. Even his son, he didn't want to kill his son. His son got after him later on and wanted to kill him. So David didn't really want to kill his own people, even when they was wicked. Long story short, these men gonna bring the head of Ishbosheth up to David, and David gonna kill those two men. But they was doing it to get in good with David. You know what I mean? So you know, I'm gonna digress from that. I just that was a good clarity. You know, I didn't even realize after reading. Sometimes you got to go over this stuff over and over. But I didn't. Sometimes you think you know something, but it's good to go over.
You know, that's that's the great thing though. It's like a new revelation, a new reveal will be shown every time you read and go over it, you know, 1,000 times. It don't. This is the book that never gets old. Right.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes you can read a book and put it up, forget all about it. This book you can read and pull down and still get new after new after new. It don't stop, man.
Let me get. I'm gonna get one precept on that real quick. You had something? Go ahead, King. My bad.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna get this precept, Proverbs 25 and verse number 2. It says, "It is the glory of Yahweh to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter." You know, the Most High. Sometimes you be reading this stuff and you forget, and you be reminded. You go back through and you also dig and see if that thing what they said is true. You know, because I thought Esau here was, you know what I mean, capping. You know what I mean, exaggerating, and I had to go back through. Okay, Esau, he's solid on that one point right there. You know what I mean. But you know,
hey, don't get they still cunning.
They
throw a little bit truth in there, man, because they know that the rest of them out there, like the ones that's woken up, you can't fool. But they the other ones though, they gonna put it in there. They gonna hide that thing, man, to try to keep us derailed, man.
Right, and we're gonna see if these things are so like what he bringing out. We're gonna see if they so. You know,
right?
Ain't gonna just take it.
That's right. God.
Right.
The next king. However, before I move on, I should point out that the Bible includes an entire book dedicated to one of David's great grandmothers, named Ruth. She was originally from the kingdom of Moab and is one of only 4 women mentioned in the Gospel of Matthew as an ancestor of Jesus. According to the Bible, Solomon reigns for 40 years and is the wisest man to ever live. He is credited as having written much of the book of Proverbs, in contrast to his father David, who is credited with having written many of the Psalms. However, most importantly, Solomon is said to have built the first temple in Jerusalem. He is said to have started the construction in the 4th year of his reign, 36 years before his death. Remember the number 36 because I'm going to come back to it shortly. After Solomon dies, Israel is divided into two kingdoms. His son Rehoboam rules over the kingdom of Judah in the south, and Jeroboam from the tribe of Ephraim rules over the kingdom of Israel in the north. You'll note that it is at this point on the chart that most names start to have a set of dates under them. These are not birth and death dates, but rather the dates for which a king reigned, or in the case of a priest, for when that priest served. So I want you to take note of the year 930 BCE. That's the year that both Rehoboam and Jeroboam start their reign. And it's the earliest biblical date that virtually all biblical scholars agree on, regardless of whether they are religious or secular. That's because from this point forward, all of the dates on this chart, as well as many of the people, can be verified using sources both inside and outside of the Bible. So, for example, in 1 Kings chapter 14, it mentions an Egyptian pharaoh named Shishak, who reigns around the same time as Rehoboam and Jeroboam. From Egyptian records, we know that there was indeed a pharaoh named Shoshank, who reigned from 943 to 922 BCE. So that's a match. Also note that on this chart, I use BCE and CE instead of BC and AD. Basically, these two sets of terms can be used interchangeably. So whenever I say BCE, know that it means the same thing as BC. Nowadays, BCE and CE are the standard terms used in academic publishing. So that's why I use them instead of BC and AD. Okay, at this point, let me now explain the timeline on the left of the chart. The year 930 BCE marks the start of the section labeled Historical Dates. Again, these are dates that everyone agrees on. However, above this, I've also included some speculative dates, which I've labeled Christian literalist dates. These are for people who take the Bible literally and or simply want to know what the Bible says internally about when certain events took place. So remember the number 36? If we count back 36 years from 930, we get 966, which would be the year in which Solomon started to build the temple. We can then count backwards from this date using some other numbers to get other dates. So for example, in 1 Kings 6 verse 1, it says that Solomon started to build the temple exactly 480 years after the Exodus. If we take this number as being literal, that means that the Exodus must have taken place in 1446 BCE. We can then refer to Exodus 12 verse 40, which says that the Israelites were in Egypt for exactly 430 years. From Genesis 47 verse 9, we know that Jacob was 130 years old when the Israelites went down to Egypt. So that means that Jacob was born in 2006 BCE. We know that Isaac was 60 when he had Jacob, and Abraham was 100 when he had Isaac. So this means that Abraham was born in 2166 BCE. The next step is to use the numbers given in Genesis chapter 11. Doing this, we can conclude that Abraham was born 292 years after the flood, which means that the flood, if taken literally, would have occurred in the year 2458 BCE. Noah was 600 when the flood happened, and according to Genesis 5, he was born 1056 years after Adam and Eve. So that gives us a final date of 4114 for the creation of Adam and Eve. Now, some Christian literalists come up with slightly different dates depending on how they do the counting. But generally speaking, if you take the Bible literally, creation is going to be somewhere around 4000 BCE. Traditionally,
Salaki,
though, Jews have calculated things.
so for our watchers, uh, that doesn't match up with your science teachers because they're gonna tell you the Earth is 100 million years. You know what I
Trillion,
mean?
trillion.
Yeah, trillion years. How can you validate that? You know what I mean? And didn't that tell you the dinosaurs roamed
Oh yeah,
about you know what I mean? It's just astronomical
Yeah,
numbers. Like what?
right.
You know,
damn near
um,
confusion.
yeah. This is a little more practical, although I know Esau is Esau, but this is a little more practical, and we understand that the Lord made the earth, and in them six, He made the earth and the world and everything, in those 6 days and rested on the seventh. So, you know, it kind of matches up 6,000 years, you know what I mean? Because we in the year 2024. So 2,000 years ago, Christ died, and then you add this 4,000 and change, that's 6,000. So 6 days, 1,000 years is a day with the Lord, and 1 day is 1,000 years. And that's just if you know, I don't really know, but this is a little more practical.
You know, and plus too, even though you might can't get the dates right or anything, it still don't change the purpose of the Most High
No.
when He created it, everything for what it to be doing, right?
Right.
Main
Right.
thing is about truth coming out, because truth is life, man.
That's right. That's right. And like you said, the okay, and like you said, the law is the law. It don't matter. The law is the law. You
Yeah,
know, he's still court. You know. So we got a question.
we got a question or comment. Let me see
Huh.
what we got. Hold on 1 second. This is this question in the comment is
Was Isaac and Rebecca second cousins? Does this affect the family tree? Was Isaac and Rebecca second cousins? They were related. Um, the we can get that account, matter of fact, because Abraham told his servant to go back to his mother's on his mother's side. He told him to go to Rebecca, Sarah's family, I believe, and to take a wife of from them. It had to come from his same stock. He wanted Shemitic blood, I believe. But let's just bring up the account. I got it if y'all unless it's in Genesis 24.
24.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I started.
Oh, I
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 24 from the top. It says, and Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray you, your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by the Lord, the power of heaven and the power of the earth, that you shall not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. Hey, that's going back to what we brought out earlier,
earlier.
that Canaan was cursed.
That's right.
Abraham said, do not
Yeah,
bring the cursed seed
that's
into
right.
my son.
Yeah,
That's
Right?
right.
We
that's
living
right.
amongst we living amongst these Africans. We already saw the chart that Canaan, it comes from from Ham.
That's right.
Abraham is living amongst these dark-skinned people, you know, these Africans, but he's from the other brother, Shem. You know, so let me keep on going. It says, but you shall go unto my country and to my kindred and take a wife unto my son Isaac. You know, and so that's the point. He
Yeah.
wanted his son to mix with his own kindred. You know, this is the world, the earth is still newly being populated. And so he just didn't, he couldn't take a wife of anybody. So yeah,
Right.
brother Bill, good to hear from you. It doesn't affect the family tree. That's just how the Lord had it. That's just how the Lord made it. You know, in the beginning. Now we didn't have the law. We didn't. Well, I'm not gonna say we didn't have the law. We did have certain laws, but for the Lord to reiterate that law, and this is before Exodus, before Moses, before we got laws that tell us that we can't go into our own sister. You know, we can't go into our father's child. You know, see, she might got a different mama, but y'all got the same daddy. You can't do that. Now this is before then, you know, and certain things happen. And you know what I mean? It is what it is. Well, the one thing you're gonna read about the Bible, and that's what we love. You're gonna get the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're not gonna. It's not there to hide anything. The Bible, it is what it is. Now sometimes our understanding may be misconstrued a little bit. Nevertheless, the Bible gonna bring out and it say what it is, what it is. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Kind on that.
Uh, um,
Yeah, and also on the rebuilding of the temple is referring to the body, not a literal structure.
Con,
Right? Yeah, that's true. They're not. It ain't gonna be built by hands over there, man.
con. Let's get a precept on that. That's a good question, Bill.
That's a good question. But
Con. I'm gonna go to Con. Where is it? Go First Corinthians. Can you give me First Corinthians 3:16? General Baba Kasha.
Yes, I got you. First Corinthians 3:16.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. And it reads, know ye not that ye are the temple of God,
Con. He said,
and
"Don't
that
you
the
know that you
Mhm.
are the temple of God? We are the temple of God. You know, talking about they looking for another temple because they don't understand. You know, this Bible wasn't written like that. It's written dang there like a rap song. Yeah, you got to break it down. You gotta have the first album. You gotta know. What I mean, you gotta know what he's referring to in this thing. This thing is written like a rap song. They talking about a literal building in the Bible. The Most High is talking about us. He said, "Know you not that you are the temple of God?" Keep on going on that, King. My bad.
God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you.
God, and
If
the Spirit dwells in us. Let me get one.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to 2 Corinthians 5 from the top. It says, "For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle, calling your body a house and a tabernacle, were dissolved, we have a building of Yahweh, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens." That means them spiritual bodies. Um, let me keep going. "For in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from heaven. If so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked, sinful," right? "For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life." It's referencing these bodies are called tabernacles, houses, temples. Your body is the tabernacle, house, and the temple. I'm gonna go also preference that, and y'all let me know y'all got something. But I was gonna also Revelations 21 and verse number 10. Can you give me that, God?
What was that again? Revelations
21 and 10.
21. Gotcha. This is Revelations 21 and verse 10.
Start at 9, Baba Kashak.
Con. Verse 9. And there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife.
The Lamb got a wife. He gonna show you who Christ's wife is.
And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
Con. So he's showing you the bride, which is a city coming out of the sky, right? And we understand that Christ is not going to marry a city, right? He showed him the great city, holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, right? Um, and then I'm going to go to preference that. I'm going to go to Matthew. Excuse me. I'm going to go to Luke 17 and 21. Can you give me that one too?
17
Matter of
and
fact, just stay
21.
there, King. I'm gonna get Luke 17.
I just
Uh,
jumped. Hold on.
okay.
I'll go back to Revelation 22 and 10.
Okay. I'm gonna get Luke 17 and 21 to drive home the point. It says, this is Christ's words, red letter. Luke 17 and 21, it says, I'm gonna start at 20. "And when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of Yahweh should come, he answered them and said, The kingdom of Yahweh cometh not with observation, neither shall they say, Lo here, or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of Yahweh is within you. In other words, matter of fact, let me just get Matthew 11 and 12 to drive it home. Matthew chapter 11 and verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. So I amalgamated all of those scriptures to show you that Christ is saying the kingdom of heaven, you're not going to observe it. It's not going to be like that. The kingdom of heaven is you. It lives in you. You know, when you keep the commandments, when you are in harmony with the word of God, you have the faith in Hamashiach, you are the kingdom of heaven. You are the city. You are part of the city. He also said in Matthew that the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force, meaning that the Romans at the time were taking us by force. They're forcing us. The whole kingdom is the people.
I think that's so. Like, I think that's a lot that a lot of folks don't understand, that the Bible was written in similitudes and parables and codes, so that these people couldn't understand. So when they see mountains and hills, they hear that and read that, they really actually think it's mountain and hills and don't understand that it's the people, right? Like,
right.
I mean, they just don't understand that, man, at all. So a lot of confusion is going on out in the world today, saying, "Hey, they're going to rebuild the temple." No, they're not, man. They can stand over there and do all that, all they want. They don't have no clue, no idea what's going on, man. Right? So it's very important that we come to this basic and everything, man, and get the true understanding of the word. And the only way to get that is through fearing the Most High and keeping His law, statutes, commandments, so He can reveal it to us in the spirit of truth. Right?
That's right.
Right. So we really need to let's get back on where we was at. Let me turn it back.
Before you do that, King, let me give him one more just to go with what he's saying. This is Psalm 111 and verse 10. It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Yeah.
And good understanding have all they that do His commandments. His praise endureth forever." So when you keeping and doing His commandments, this thing start to come clear. It's plain. The temple is the people. The temple belongs. We are the temple.
That's right. That's right.
A bit differently, which is why I labeled this side Christian literalists. However, if we move over to the other side of the chart, you'll note that I've also included the traditional Jewish dates. I'll explain those dates nearer to the end of this video. So for now, let's go back to Rehoboam and Jeroboam and continue down the family tree. I'll start with the northern kingdom of Israel. According to the Bible, Jeroboam is followed by his son Nadab, but then by a usurper named Baasha, who in turn is followed by his son Elah. But then things get really unstable when Elah is killed by Zimri, and then Zimri is killed by Omri. At this point, a man named Tibni, who was probably a relative of Zimri, sets himself up as a rival king. But in the end, Omri is victorious and goes on to build a new capital city at Samaria. Now, even though Omri is mentioned only briefly in the Bible, he is actually quite an important figure. For one thing, he is the earliest king from either Israel or Judah whose name and accomplishments can be confirmed by using an extra biblical source. That source is the Misha stele, which dates to around 840 BCE and was made in the nearby kingdom of Moab. On top of this, later Assyrian records use his name to describe the kingdom of Israel as a whole. Instead of calling it Israel, they simply call it the land of the house of Omri. Omri is followed by Ahab, who the Bible does have a lot to say about, mostly negative things. His evil deeds are mostly blamed on his wife Jezebel, who is a Phoenician.
That's right.
It is during their reign that the prophet Elijah is active. Also around this time, the kingdom of Aram Damascus, in what is today Syria, comes into conflict with Israel. We know about this conflict from both the Bible and from other sources. One of the most important archaeological finds in terms of the Bible is the Tel Dan stele. It was commissioned by King Hazael of Aram Damascus and describes how he defeated Jehoram, the son of Ahab, but also Ahaziah from the house of David. So far, this is the only extra biblical reference we have that mentions David. Although, note that it doesn't give any biographical information about him. It simply mentions that one of his descendants, Ahaziah, was defeated by Hazael. Returning to the kings of Israel, we know from the Bible that Jehoram was followed by Jehu, who may have been a member
Here
of
we
the
go.
house of Omri from a different branch. He holds the distinction of being the only king of either Israel or Judah for whom we have a contemporary depiction. An
Check this out.
Assyrian record called the Black Obelisk shows him bowing down to Shalmaneser III, which indicates that Israel became a vassal of Assyria at this point, probably in return for Assyria helping them to defeat Hazael. Jehu is followed by 4 of his descendants before things start to go downhill. There's a series of 5 final rulers before Samaria is completely destroyed in 722 by the Assyrians. According to the Bible, it is King Shalmaneser V who conquers them. It also mentions a King So of Egypt who reigns around the same time. This is almost certainly Osorkon IV, the last pharaoh of the 22nd dynasty, who rules just before the Cushite pharaohs take over. Let's now go back and look at the kings of Judah. Unlike in the north, the southern kingdom is ruled the entire time by a single dynasty, the House of David, although there is at least one intermarriage with the House of Omri. Rehoboam's great-great-grandson, Jehoram, marries Athaliah, the daughter of King Ahab. After the deaths of both Jehoram and their son Ahaziah, Athaliah claims the throne of Judah for herself, having all other claimants killed. However, someone manages to save Ahaziah's infant son Joash and keeps him in hiding until he reaches the age of 7. At this point, the high priest helps overthrow Athaliah and places Joash on the throne, thus saving the house of David from extinction.
All right.
5 generations.
So we're going from we went from the yellow to the blue. He explained the yellow kingdoms, and then he said that they destroyed the Samaritans. I meant to stop that earlier. I mean, catch you early. But we understand that, through the Apocrypha is how we understand where the northern kingdom, what happened to them. They were you got that, King?
We'll get that in first.
That's second Ezra 10.
6.
Is that 6 or 10?
I think it's this.
Salaki, yeah, it is 6.
6.
No, it ain't 6. It's chapter 13. 13 and 40.
On down. 40 on down.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 on down.
Con, let me get it. It says, Con, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse number 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Osi, the king, or Hoshea, or Hosea, however they want to say it, whom Shalmaneser, like he said, the king of Assyria, led away captive. Mm-hmm. And he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt.
That's a big point right there, where never mankind dwelt.
Right?
That's right.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
And what that sound like?
What was that?
I said, you know what that sound like?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Arsareth. Then dwelt they there unto the latter time. So that's just going into the northern kingdom.
Northern kingdom.
Disappear.
Northern kingdom. And you see, they still got that stone. I forgot what it's called, where they got the 10 commandments written on it. Like when they first came into this land, man. They showed you, they like you just read up here, man, where it said that the laws that they didn't keep in their own land, but they kept it in this land.
Yeah.
It's a proven fact, man, you know.
The Los Lunas stones. Is that what we're talking about?
That's what it was. That's what it was.
The Los
Yeah.
Lunas.
Los Lunas. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
Huh.
and not to go off too far from that, but for where the tribes they did leave. Just to clarify, not all the tribe, not everybody from the
Yeah.
tribe left. There were some people
Huh.
that just stayed, and that's why you still see Samaritans in the New Testament.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Kind. That's exactly
Okay.
right. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't got nothing else.
Okay.
Generations down from Joash, we get Hezekiah, who is one of the most important
There we
kings
go.
of Judah. He reigns shortly after Samaria falls, and therefore he has to face the Assyrians, who want to conquer Judah next. By this point, it is Sennacherib who is the king of Assyria. But Sennacherib fails to conquer Judah, in part due to the rise of a powerful pharaoh in Egypt named Taharka, who is mentioned in the Bible as Tirhaka, king of Cush. But it also boils down to Hezekiah's careful planning. The Bible mentions the construction of new walls and an underground tunnel to bring water into the city of Jerusalem, both of which have been found by archaeologists.
Mm.
Also active during this time is the prophet Isaiah, who is himself a member of the royal family, as well as the father-in-law of Hezekiah. Hezekiah is followed by
Didn't know that.
Manasseh and Ammon, who are described in the Bible as being evil, before we get another young boy who was made king, named Josiah. Josiah sets things right, and during his reign, Judah really flourishes. This is partly due to the fact that by this point, Assyria is in decline, soon to be replaced by Babylon. The high priest during the reign of Josiah is a man named Hilkiah. He is a descendant of Zadok, the original high priest of the first temple, who served during the days of Solomon. The oldest copy of a biblical text ever found dates to around the time of Josiah and Hilkiah. It is part of the Ketuf Hinnom scrolls and includes the verses from Numbers chapter 5, verses 24 through 26. Josiah's story comes to a tragic end when he is killed by Pharaoh Necho of Egypt, who in other sources is known as Necho II. By this point, Assyria has fallen to Babylon, and therefore Babylon starts to interfere in the politics of Judah. 3 of Josiah's sons reign as king, as well as one of his grandsons, before Jerusalem, including the first temple, is completely destroyed by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon in 586 BCE.
Right.
The final high priest of the first temple is Hilkiah's grandson Sariah, and the 2 main prophets during this period, Jeremiah and Ezekiel, are priests as well. Ezekiel, Jeconiah, a nobleman named Daniel, and many other elite members of the kingdom of Judah are exiled to Babylon. But eventually, the kingdom of Babylon is conquered by Cyrus the Great of Persia. Cyrus allows the exiles, now known as Jews, to return to Jerusalem and gives them permission to rebuild the temple in what is now called Judea. It is during the Babylonian and Persian periods that most of the Hebrew Bible is written. On the bottom right of the chart, you'll find a timeline that shows when each book was most likely written, according to modern critical scholarship. Going back to the family tree, the governor of the first wave of returnees is Sheshbazzar, the son of King Jeconiah, and the first high priest of the second temple is Joshua, grandson of Sariah. The Bible also mentions a governor named Zerubbabel, who leads the second wave. He is either the son of Shealtiel or Pedaiah, both sons of Jeconiah. I'll come back to him a bit later when discussing the ancestors of Jesus. There is also a third wave led by a priest/scribe named Ezra, and a fourth wave led by a governor named Nehemiah. Both of them are appointed by the Persian king Artaxerxes I. How Esther fits in is a bit more complicated. because the Persian king in that story is named Ahasuerus, but this doesn't match with any of the known kings of Persia. However, Ahasuerus is usually assumed to be Xerxes I. It is at this point that the Hebrew Bible, known to Christians as the Old Testament, comes to an end. We thus enter the intertestamental period, which we can learn about by using the apocryphal books as well as extra biblical sources. For example, we know that eventually the Persians are defeated by the famous Greco-Macedonian conqueror Alexander the Great, and that after his death, his
Greco-Macedonian
generals
conqueror.
fight over
Shit,
the empire,
Alexander the
and
Great.
it is eventually split into four main parts. Two main dynasties are formed, consisting of the descendants of Ptolemy I and Seleucus I. Initially, the Ptolemies, who were based in Egypt, rule Judea, but later it is the Seleucids, based in Syria. By using Jewish sources, we can get the names of every high priest from Joshua up to the Maccabean revolt. This revolt occurs when the Seleucid king Antiochus IV stops the usual Jewish sacrifices and replaces them with sacrifices to the Greek god Zeus. The revolt is initially led by a man named Mattathias, but after he dies, it is his son Judah who successfully recaptures the temple and restores the usual sacrifices, with himself as the new high priest. He is nicknamed Maccabee.
So that's a good point right there, and that's the time. That's what we're going into, the celebration when Judas Maccabee, they took the temple back and rededicated it from the Greeks. The Greeks had us in captivity, as he's showing you, and he's kind of skimming over it. So I'm gonna stop it. But we are even what is it this week coming? We are going to celebrate the beginning of the of what you call Hanukkah, or the Feast of Dedication. Even Hamashiach Yahushai celebrate. It's even mentioned in the Bible. What is that? John 10 and 10?
22. You talking about John 10, 22?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, John 10 and 22.
Come. It's the book of John, chapter 10, verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter, and Yahushai walked in the temple in Solomon's porch, right? So Yahushai is at the temple during the feast of dedication, which is a feast that it is not mentioned nowhere else in the Bible. So we don't understand where this comes from if we don't have the Apocrypha. If you listen to some Christians, so-called Christians in that white supremacy, they'll tell you the Apocrypha is not canonical. It's not canon. We're not supposed to, you know what I mean? All this type of stuff. And I was duped like that when I was in Christianity. Took a few years for me to get the understanding. You know what I mean? A long time, actually. But that's what we're going to celebrate. We're celebrating this, the dedication of the temple, rededication of the temple, because they rebuilt the temple after the Greeks had destroyed it and profaned it. And Judas Maccabees and his brother, they rededicated it, took it back, and they named it the Feast of Dedication.
That's right. That's right.
So that's what we're going to celebrate this week. Stop.
Full zeal like the Maccabees, man.
Right.
That's right.
That's right. Right. So that was a good point right there. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, definitely a good point that the people should know and everything, man, to enlighten them on. So
Come
the only way you're gonna find that, like Cap said, man, is you have to go to the Apocrypha and the Maccabees to understand that. So.
Right.
Let's see. We're at 25 right now, man. Got about 15 more minutes, I say, or 10. So with this video,
yeah,
just to give a heads up on.
Maccabee, which means the hammer. And this is why his entire family becomes known as the Maccabees. Eventually, the Maccabees, also known as the Hasmoneans, end up serving not only as high priests, but also as monarchs. First as princes under Simon and Hyrcanus I, but then later as kings, starting with Aristobulus I. During this period, a legislative body known as the Sanhedrin is also formed, led by a pair of leaders known as the Zugot. This consists of the Nasi, who was sort of the president, and the Av Beit Din, who was sort of the vice president. Eventually, however, there's a civil war in Judea between two Hasmonean brothers, Hyrcanus II and Aristobulus II. Rome intervenes, and in the process, Judea becomes a client state of the Roman Republic. In addition to this, the Hasmonean dynasty is eventually replaced with the Herodian dynasty, Herod the Great being the husband of one of the last Hasmonean princesses. At this point, the monarchy and the high priesthood is split, with the high priests now getting the job by appointment instead of by inheritance. It is during the reign of Herod the Great that Jesus is born. The New Testament tells us that he is related to a fellow preacher named John the Baptist through their mothers, Mary and Elizabeth. According to Catholic tradition, Mary's mother's name was Anne, and presumably Anne and Elizabeth's mother were sisters, making Mary and Elizabeth first cousins and Jesus and John the Baptist second cousins. Genealogically speaking, the New Testament has more to say about Jesus' adoptive father, Joseph. According to the Gospel of Matthew, Joseph was the son of Jacob, whereas according to the Gospel of Luke, Joseph was the son of Heli. A different set of ancestors is given for these two individuals, leading most Christians to assume that one line must actually be the line of Mary. Usually, Luke's account is considered to be based on Mary's ancestry, whereas Matthew's is considered to be based on Joseph's, although there are those who argue for the opposite. In both cases, though, Jesus' ancestry is traced back to Zerubbabel, although note that Matthew provides half as many names between Zerubbabel and Jesus than Luke does, meaning that Matthew may have left out some generations. We know for a fact that he does skip generations elsewhere in his genealogy. For example, he leaves out Ahaziah, Joash, and Amaziah, jumping straight from Jehoram to Uzziah. This is probably for stylistic reasons, so that his entire list can be divided into 3 sets of 14 names. Matthew also replaces Asa with Asaph and Ammon with Amos, again, probably for stylistic reasons. Amos was a prophet, and Asaph was a writer of Psalms. So this is probably a nod to the 2 sections of the Hebrew Bible that follow the Torah, the prophets and the writings. Luke, on the other hand, gives a completely different set of names between David and Zerubbabel. Whereas Matthew has Jesus descending from David through Solomon and the subsequent kings of Judah, Luke has him descending from a previously unknown son of David named Nathan, followed by a bunch more previously unknown names. The final thing to note about Luke's account is that he adds an extra generation here between Hezron and Aminadab, and also here between Arphaxad and Selah. Like with Matthew, this may have been done for stylistic reasons. Overall, Luke's list of ancestors has 77 names, which is 7 times 11. Let's now go back to Herod the Great. When he dies, his kingdom is divided into 4 parts, each ruled by a tetrarch. However, his son Herod Archelaus gets the main part, which is Judea. He rules for 10 years, after which the monarchy is abolished, with Judea becoming a Roman province instead, ruled by a governor. This is why, by the time that Jesus is crucified, the person who sentenced him to death is Pontius Pilate, who acts on behalf of the Roman Empire. Also take note that the Herod mentioned in connection with the beheading of John the Baptist is neither Herod the Great nor Herod Archelaus, but rather Herod Antipas, who married his niece Herodias. About a decade after the death of Jesus, the Judean monarchy is briefly restored, with Herod's grandson Agrippa I being placed on the throne, followed by Agrippa II.
So what we're reading here is how that when we were talking about the Maccabees, in the Apocrypha, we were in a Greek captivity. We went into captivity in slavery. The Greeks took us from out of the hands of the Persians. The Persians took us out of the hands of the Babylonians, right? So then we were in the Greeks when Maccabees, Judas Maccabees, instituted Hanukkah, or the Feast of Dedications. Shortly after that, we were good for a while, and this is just prior to Christ. Then the Romans defeated the Greeks, and they had control over our jurisdiction, right? They had control over our region, Judea, like he said. Now this is the so-called white man. This is the Edomites. They've got control, and they're in control at the time of Christ, right? And so now we're reading about the people that were actually responsible, for actually putting Christ to death. Yes, we did send them up, which it was off. I mean, all of that was prophecy. But woe to the nation that destroyed Christ. They're the ones that did it. And it's just showing who they are. The Romans are actually living on this earth today. We know the Romans, though, that's just Italy. Those are Italian people. So Herod the Great, these people, they assimilated into our culture a bit, and they were the ones that were persecuting us at the time of Christ.
Right.
And so,
That's right.
yeah, that's where we're at on this video so far.
In the New Testament book of Acts, Agrippa I is called Herod, whereas Agrippa II is simply called Agrippa. Another person mentioned in the book of Acts is a Jewish teacher named Gamaliel. According to the Bible, Paul studied under Gamaliel before his conversion to Christianity. From Jewish sources, we know that Gamaliel was the grandson of Hillel, who was another important Jewish scholar who lived just prior to the time of Jesus. In Jewish literature, the teachings of Hillel are often contrasted with the teachings of Shammai, who lived at the same time. Hillel served as Nasi of the Sanhedrin, whereas Shammai served as the Av Beit Din. The final event I want to point out on this chart is the destruction of Jerusalem, including the Second Temple, in 70 CE. The leader of the Sanhedrin at this point is Simon, the son of Gamaliel. Both he and the final high priest are murdered during the destruction, and afterwards the oversight of Jewish law passes to a man named Yohanan ben Zakkai, who sets up the first rabbinical school in the nearby town of Yavne. I also want to point out the Babylonian exilarchs. These were a line of men living in Babylon and later Baghdad who led the Jewish community there as the senior heirs of the house of David. Like Jesus, they trace their descent from Zerubbabel, and thus to the final kings of Judah as well. Records of their existence extend all the way to the year 1258. Okay, the last thing I want to do is explain why the Jewish traditional dates, shown on the top right of this chart, differ from the Christian literalist dates, shown on the top left. Basically, the Jewish calendar is based on the year 70 CE, which, as I just mentioned, was the year that the Second Temple was destroyed. According to Jewish tradition, the Second Temple stood for 420 years, and the First Temple for 410 years, with 70 years in between. This gives us a total of 900 years, which places the construction of the temple in the year 830 BCE, which is more than 100 years off the date I mentioned earlier. If we count back 480 years from 830, we get the date 1310, which is the traditional Jewish date for the Exodus. Again, more than 100 years off the date that most Christian literalists use. But it's the next part where the Jewish counting really differs. As I mentioned earlier, Exodus 12 verse 40 mentions that the length of time that the Israelites lived in Egypt was 430 years. However, according to the rabbis, the original verse read, the length of time that the Israelites lived in Egypt and Canaan was 430 years. This means that if we count back 430 years from the Exodus, we come to the year that Abraham went down to Canaan rather than the year that Jacob went down to Egypt. This
Mm.
cuts a further 215 years off the timeline and puts the birth of Abraham at 1815 BCE. From here, we can use Genesis 5 and 11 to go back 390 years to the birth of Seth, another 500 years to go back to the birth of Noah, and an additional 1056 years to reach the date of creation, which Jews traditionally place at 3761 BCE. Okay, so that was a look at the entire family tree of the Bible, all the way from Adam and Eve to the time of Jesus. Once again, if you want to buy a copy of this
Okay,
chart
so we good on
as
that.
a poster,
Let's in on that.
What y'all think?
Very
That's
detailed.
pretty true.
Yeah.
Very detailed. Yeah. And that's what I appreciate about it is that we didn't have to go and get a chart and have to do this and do that, which we still could have, but you know what I
Right.
mean, took a lot of time away that we can actually try to, you know, explain, oh, okay, nah, this is really what that is or not. And you know, kind of give you an understanding of how they're looking at it as well.
It's also good to give the people a chance to learn how to study to show yourself approved, man. Start searching,
Right.
man. You
Right.
know, I mean, if we don't know history, then we definitely don't know where we're going, man. Find out why
Right.
everything is operating like it is today, man, by going back and learning, man. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they say, if you don't learn about your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
All
Mm-hmm.
over, all over again. And this is
That's
just
right.
part of breaking down the lies that's being, and it's tough because we go generations, man. We've been in this
That's
junk,
right.
man, for 500 plus years, man. That's a lot of wire, tear, and damage,
Yeah.
you know? So our people won't even take or consider the time. They like, look, that happened so long ago, man, it's done away with. Let's just worry about now. Well, no, you can't worry about now if you don't worry about then to get to now.
Right.
It don't make sense, man.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
You got to know what's going on, man. You got to be in the game, man. You know,
That's
do
right.
your research and dig into this Bible, man. Get into the Bible. Get into the
That's
Bible.
the big
Be
thing.
this. Yeah, it should actually even just this video, it should actually pique your attention. You say, hold on, you know what I mean? Oh man, that's interesting.
Yeah,
If you're not interested now, hey, that's a problem. If you're not interested in this Bible, man, that's a problem.
that is. You know, the Lord said,
They
blessed
say
is the man that readeth.
Right.
I was listening to a brother over at Sakari Dallas. He was talking about, he was like, if you're reading this Bible, he said, you need to come to the mind that you're reading about your heritage. This is your history. This is your
Right.
family. It's not just another book that you just found and you just dusted off and like, oh,
Right.
this sounds interesting. This is your history. This is your
Right.
beginnings. And that's how you should look at it when it comes to studying it, because it talks about that it talks in Deuteronomy that you should be talking about it when you get up in the morning, when you lay down, when you're walking about. You got to teach all these things to your kids and to the future generations. So it should be something that's important. It's like they were saying this morning, it's the blueprint for our nation.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
Blueprint. And excuse me.
That's right.
I was going to get Job 8:8. It says, "For inquire, I pray you, of the former age, and
Mhm.
prepare yourself to the search of their fathers." You
That's
know,
right.
uh, and that's what we supposed to do. We need to know what happened. What you know what I mean? It's so sickening when you deal with you know, we deal with a lot of people. Some people just don't care. They don't care why we got into slavery. We hear and forget, like you said, forget about it. You know what I mean? I want to know what happened, what went wrong, why. You know what I mean? Who did it happen to? We need to know that thing, and it's written up for us, and it's right there in our face. You know, why wouldn't we want to know? You know,
Right.
but some
I'm gonna
people
get
just sit there and hey, it is what it is. Let me get a, you know, just play the PlayStation, whatever. We got a comment.
yeah, and I wanna before you read that comment, I wanna build off what Cap just said in Psalm 77:5. I have considered the days of old, the years
Mhm.
of ancient times. That's why it's
Right,
there. It's important.
Right.
It's very important, right?
That's right.
Man, Chief done took my precept.
Well,
I was like, where was that at? I'm getting ready to pull that.
hey, I was already there. I was already on it. I was like, I gotta
Yeah.
pull it.
Hey, that's the spirit.
That's
That's
the
the
spirit.
Yeah,
spirit. Oh, all praises.
God. What's the question there?
Oh,
Commenting on brother Bill White. Commenting on the last video. How can this brother try to justify the day of murder by renaming it the Most High's Day? That was
yeah.
beyond blasphemy. All the sickening food was a disgrace.
mm.
Ah,
Oh,
right.
you talking about Thursday video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Con.
Appreciate
Hey,
you watching, Brother Bill. We appreciate that.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
What
That
y'all
welcome
got
you.
something to say on it?
Yeah. I'm glad he's seen that video, man, and seen the wickedness that our people can, be in, And I mean, that just gives out such a bad vibe, man, because when I first seen the video, it made me angry to the mud, man, because if I was just now coming into the truth and I see that, man, that's gonna mess me up big time, man. I'm gonna be like,
Right.
oh, wait a minute. So it is okay if since we can eat pork and everything, we can celebrate Christmas and everything else then. And say we're doing it to the most high. He understands it, right? So yeah, that video right there with that brother, man, he need to repent. As long as the Lord got breath going through his body, him and that whole congregation, I guess that's what he got there. They need to repent of that, man.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. That was like you said. It was sickening. Sickening to go through all of that just for some daggone pork and sickening. And then you're teaching others to break the law.
Yeah, yeah.
Brother gonna be least in the kingdom. Matthew 5:17.
And that's what it's about, man. That's why it's good too to consider the days of old and everything, man, because you won't let nothing like that folly creep up in you and deteriorate you, man, and say, well, they doing it like this. This is the truth. You look back, you can see from day one, man, that ain't the truth, man, at all. Right? You never saw Yahweh shop with some Boston butt or shoulder.
Boston butt.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard that one. That's a new one for me,
Yeah,
Chief.
that's a good. So no, man, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the folly of Satan always, man. Especially when he comes to our own people, man, and try to use them to confuse the rest of us. Cause hey, if they look at you and see you, they gonna let you in and everything. Come on, man.
Right.
Hey, yeah. Our ancestors, like we was talking about the Maccabees. Who was it? That was Judah Maccabees. That was his daddy, right? That refused to eat. No, that was just a high priest, wasn't it? Let me go there. Let's go there. I mean, we got actual people that were being put to death.
Yeah.
Before they would taste some pork. But this brother is coming and say, "Oh, it's okay, it's cool, no big deal." Well, what was dude doing? And he lost it. He almost did. He get put to death? He did get put to death for not eating that pork, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talking about when he killed all the
Are you talking about? I got Second Maccabees. Yeah, you got that Second Maccabees 6?
Second Maccabees 6.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You got it.
You got it.
You got it, King. You got it. I ain't in there yet. I'm trying.
I'll pull it out then. It's Second Maccabees 6 and 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes,
Okay.
an aged man and of well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. Is that the one you had?
Yeah, hold that right there. But first, get 6 and 1 so they can get some context of that.
This is Second Maccabees 6 and not long after the king, Salakia. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers, and not to live after the laws of God.
So what we about to read
And
is
to
about
pollute. Go ahead.
Oh, Salaki. Now, what you're reading is how they wanted us to go away from our laws.
Yep.
You know what I mean. So
Kind.
this is a negative thing. So the brother on the video that's he, man. Go
Man,
ahead,
that's
King.
deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's
God.
just showing you.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, some people, that's like when the Most High said He makes vessels of honor and dishonor.
Yeah.
It's not just talking about the heathen, man. He's got people set up in ourselves just to test us, because it's got to be that 2/3, and somebody got to be it.
Yeah, that's right.
I,
That's
Yeah.
right.
I pray
Yeah,
to
that's
the
right.
Most High it ain't me, and I pray
I'm
that
telling you.
the brother
Me
opens his
too.
eyes and he come out of that.
Con.
Yeah, and I think that's in even the woman with her 7 sons having to watch them all die, man,
Oh yeah.
for not born
Mm.
again. You know what I'm saying, man? You mean to tell
Yeah.
me she lost her sons through righteousness, man, where they didn't eat that shit, man, and all of a sudden this guy can come on and say, now the Lord said it's okay, then why they have to die if it was okay?
Right. Right. Con. Oh, and Salaki, I stepped on your verse, King. You can go ahead and finish that one and then jump back to 18 my bad.
No, you good? Like it was just going into how I'll finish off verse 2. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius.
Wow.
Mm,
That goes into what he was doing. He was taking something. He was taking something holy and mixing it with the unholy,
mm.
Yeah. That's
polluting
right.
it.
That's right.
You're gonna put our Lord and Savior's name mixed in with your
That's
paganism.
crazy, man.
Mm.
Jupiter Olympius, which goes into where they get the Olympics from. You know what I mean?
Right?
Those are all their gods and stuff. That's how they do that. You know what I mean? You got it,
Mm-hmm.
King.
God.
You gonna
And,
Khan, you gonna read to 19 too, King?
well, I can do that. I can do that
Yeah,
too.
get 18 and 19, please. Slap, go ahead.
God. Like, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, defender of strangers, and they did desire that dwelled in that place. Jumping down to verse 18, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh.
Wow.
But
Wow.
he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment.
That's
Wow.
right.
That's right.
Hey, he said they were trying to make him eat pork, and he said,
Yeah.
"Man, look, forget that, kill me."
Kill
He said
me.
he
I
did it on
spit
his
this
own,
junk on you.
yeah, of his own accord. He said, "Nah, yeah, hey, look, go ahead, kill me. Go ahead and kill me."
That's right.
He
Go
gave
ahead.
himself, hey, go ahead. I'm not going to do that.
Damn.
All praise to the Most High.
All
An
praise to the
old
Most
man.
High. But how do and then
Right.
how's that okay now for what this dude just popped up on the video and say, now that means he died for nothing. They died for nothing.
Right.
Come on, man.
Hey, Chief.
That's crazy.
Hey, you mind if I add on these two other verses to it?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, verse 27. Wherefore now, manfully changing this life, I will shew myself such as one as my age requireth,
Right.
and leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws.
That's right.
And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment.
See that? Willfully, like, man, you crazy, boy. I'm gonna die for this law right here, man.
Right. Hey,
That's
and,
right.
and what he said, he prophesied something that we're doing. He said,
That's right.
and leave a notable example to
That's
such
right.
as be young. That's us.
That's
To die
us.
willingly and courageous for the honorable and holy. What kind of laws were them again?
Honorable and holy laws.
Honorable and holy laws, man. You know what I mean? He said, "I'm gonna leave an example for my youngsters." You know what I mean? For the youngsters.
That's right.
Hey, that's love because he's showing us right here today, 2,000 years later. This what we supposed to. This what you supposed to do. as an example. You know what I mean? And his
That's
prophecy
right.
is coming true. Now you got to die for this thing.
Hey,
That's
let's
a great
finish.
example.
Let's break some more down on that. Drop down to 30 and get 31 out. 30 and 31.
Okay, I got you. This is verse 30. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that have the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in body, but being beaten, but in soul, I am content to suffer these things because I fear him.
Uh-huh.
And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a
Uh-huh.
noble courage
Uh-huh.
and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation.
Unto all his nation, bro.
All
That's
his
right.
nation.
All his nation. That's right.
Nah,
For the young man, and he
that's
told him,
right.
look, man, this is going to be a courage, right? This is going to be an example to all the other nations, man. Don't you dare try to eat that stuff, man. Choose death rather than to eat that abomination that defiled me before the Most High.
That's
That's
right.
This is how
right.
you honor the Most High, man. You keep his laws, man. You don't break them. You don't come say anything contrary to the word itself, man. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you are agent being used by the enemy, man, to come out here and
Right.
derail God's people and say, look, it's okay now. We're going to honor the day for the Most High. You killed the Northern Kingdom brothers, man. 77 something million, then had turkey with the dressing on it and everything. And you sitting in that house, man, with everybody sitting in there, man, ready to eat pork.
That's
It's funny to me that you would make a 4-minute video about eating pork. I didn't see no
Right.
minute video teaching us, man, about the laws and commandments of the Most High.
Right.
I
nothing.
didn't see that.
My thing is, if you're not teaching the laws, what else you got to say? What else is there to teach?
Wow.
What else is there? Like, what
Yeah.
what else? What?
Right. If
Yeah,
any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God,
that's right.
Kind. That's right. That's
not
right.
boasting of yourself, how your coke battered pork.
Yeah, the coke
I've
man.
been cooking this
Yeah.
for hours.
Hey, he had a whole pig on that table, man.
He
For real,
did.
man.
He had a whole thing on there.
All he was
Just
missing
cut
was
up
a
in different
snout.
sections.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
man.
And
He
I'm gonna tell
missing
you
the
what.
snout.
Hey, you can see the judgments because you can tell his health was so bad, man. Don't look like he could
Yeah.
walk. Tell you the truth.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm just gonna say that, right?
Man.
I mean, and they smiling and everything. The woman, you got that little baby that don't even have a clue what's going on. You set
Right.
you set condemnation on everybody up in that
Yeah,
house, man.
yeah.
Right?
Mm.
That's it's like a damn bomb ready to go off at any moment, man.
Right.
Right.
You're
Where's
gonna
your
pay
fear
for it.
at?
They're gonna pay for it one way or another. You're gonna
You
pay.
got to where your fear
Even if
at
he
to serve the
repent,
Most High, man.
even if he repent, he gotta deal with it.
Man, you don't do
Uh,
stuff. You because you know what? You don't put that blood out there, man.
Right.
What about the ones that's gonna see that video and go do that, man? And now their conscious state of mind is it's okay to eat pork, man. It's okay. They're
yeah.
gonna eat it now. All it took was that video to see somebody say and saying this. He gave him a new name on there, man. A name I never heard of. And then the
Man.
homeboy goes over there, man, pull the cup out and everything, man. They got a bunch of smiles. And I'm like, you smiling now, but you're gonna cry later, man.
That's right.
That's
You
right.
enjoy sucking on that junk and eating that junk down, man. Brother, you better repent, man. And you better go to the feet of the throne of the Most High, man, and cry. And tell him, man, because you don't know how many people you done damaged from showing that filth, man.
All for just wanting to celebrate Thanksgiving in the first place. Really, just keep it real. You just want to celebrate Thanksgiving.
That's all.
Hey,
You just come out
wanted to eat and be gluttonous. That's what it was. They wanted to be gluttonous.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing about our people. We can't do our own thing. We gotta follow the white.
We gotta follow.
You know
we gotta follow.
This brother could have said, "Hey, it's new moon. I'm turning up. I got my Akim with me.
Right.
Everybody
right.
16 cakes over here.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Hey, we doing it big. You know what I mean? You know, we got whatever. You know, but this brother, hey, and that's the spirit of Thanksgiving. Lawlessness. It's wicked. There is no good spirit that comes from celebrating Thanksgiving
At
on
all.
Thanksgiving.
At
At
all.
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
No way
Man.
getting around that, man. At
Yeah.
I
all.
like how you said that. You said that right. Spirit of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What it
Yeah,
It's a
is.
that's
spirit.
what it is. It's a spirit.
Yeah.
Everybody get in the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's a
Why is
spirit
it
that
that we
goes around.
always?
Yeah, it is.
Why is it that we always want to be imposers or imposters? We always want to
Right.
mimic other nations instead of being the nation that He called us to be, man. We don't want
Exactly.
to follow that. I don't understand that, man. That drives me crazy to see that, bro.
Yeah.
That's right.
We rather we in this captivity, and we don't want to we don't want to we don't even want to get out of captivity. Some of us don't even
Mm-mm.
believe we're in captivity, but
No.
we don't want our own. We just want what the white man gives us.
Yeah,
We want what
exactly.
Master
Right.
gives us. You know what I mean? You tell a brother, hey man, look, we trying to do this, this, and that. We trying to get our own, man. You know what I mean?
Got
Miss
time.
me with that shit. Hey
Yeah,
man, I'm gonna get this.
that's
Right.
that's garbage. Don't talk to me like that, man. It's good now, man. I'm married to a white woman. It's all good now. You got to forget them days, man. Like the Most High change.
Come.
Like he gonna forget about all that. Like he gonna hold a separation when those people that did dire people like that. He gonna punish them, but not the deceased or descendants. Come on, man.
Mm,
What are y'all doing, man? Where do you see that
right.
at in the Bible when he said he gonna do that, man? He getting your whole thing. You gonna drink that cup whether you want to or not, man.
That's
Right? You
right.
ain't got no choice. Esau ain't got no choice. You gonna drink that thing. You getting double too. That's gonna be a bitter beyond bitter. That
Man.
shows you how much the Most High love His children, man. And we
Right.
don't
That's
even
why they
do
talk
that.
about it. Oh,
Yeah.
Salakia.
Go ahead,
That's why
King.
he talk about, hey, y'all drink from the dregs, the very bottom of the barrel.
Oh,
That man.
that's where all
Man,
that
I don't
junk
know.
resin, right?
Shoot, I don't know if you ever I don't know if you ever had like malt liquor like 211. That's still reserved. That's
Straight
what they
up.
drinking. That's what he got stored for
Ah,
them. We're gonna be drinking the good stuff. We got the top bottles, and they're gonna be drinking of that. Just bitter.
ah,
That's still
bitter.
reserved. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's tough for the but it's their portion.
That's right. Can't get out of it. I mean, there's
I
no
can't do
such
nothing
thing.
about it.
There is no such thing, man. That's why the Lord, and we said that, man. We was talking about that earlier when he was talking about how Cap, you said the guy at the job talking about the Holocaust and everything. They act like the Holocaust is equal to the transatlantic slave trade, to the Sahara slave trade. They act like it's
Yeah.
equal. And the Bible told you no other nation, and what is that? Daniel 9:12, where the Lord said, no other nation on earth has been done like Israel. Nobody's went through what Israel went through, man.
Right.
So where you getting out feeling sad
That's
for what
right.
happened in the Holocaust and saying, well, he burnt them alive. He put them in gas chambers. Over how long did that last? About 5 years?
5 years. Yeah.
5 fucking years? You mean to tell me 5 years out 500 years, man? And this is something our people don't even think about, man. And be like, wait a minute, that makes sense, man. They saying that their atrocities was way worse than is ours. And we was in it, and we still in it. Shit. At least they got reparations, and they went and took the land and said we're gonna give it to them, and still they've seen like what, how billions of dollars over there, man.
Every year.
Every year. Right. You come talking about us, it's nobody ever heard of, man. Now, what was that one dude name, man? I can't remember his name, man, but they said when they was talking about giving reparations and stuff, man, they was talking about giving like, I forgot how much it was, like 100 or 200 something thousand, man, or 500. It was something, man.
Something crazy, ain't.
Yeah. And he said no, they won't know how to use that money.
Oh yeah. That was Bernie Sanders. I think he said that. I think it was Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
I gotta take care of something real quick.
All right. I'm like, damn, you gonna tell us how to use? We can't. He like, you ain't giving all them niggas that money. No.
That's right.
Right. Even though that's not gonna clean up or fix, you can't do that, man. What's gonna give us reparations? That kingdom when the Most High come with His Son, man. He sent His Son here and everything, man. And we get it. You can keep your money. Ain't gonna do you no good, man.
That's right.
That was a good the little dialogue we broke down today and to talk about that. And I think we got all the questions that was in there, guy.
Yeah, I don't think I saw anything else.
Yeah, there wasn't
Uh,
nothing else.
I think we caught all of Brother Bill's
Yeah,
questions.
we got all his stuff out there. We got every last
Hey,
bit of it
hey, you think of anything else? Hey, put it in the comments.
in the comments.
No, tag it. Let us know that you got something there. Hey, we'll love to go back, read the comments, answer your questions, and we might even bring it up in topic on a class.
On the class, be great. That's why we tell them all the time, put in, put in. You know,
That's
that was good to show that video, man, because we need some we need our people to be reborn, rebirthed, man, and their knowledge and everything. Man, think about it. We went to all their schools, brother. They taught us everything they wanted us to learn. The only
exactly.
way to get that out, is to be relearned, man. You know,
That's
get
right.
all that junk out of your head and everything, man, and say, no, man. And that's what basically was about in these last days, man. That's what's really gonna wake our people up, man, and stop letting them be attached to the stronghold, man, thinking we just niggas, we just gonna die and live and that's it. No, man. These
Right.
people know that we gods and everything, man. They know. They just like shit. Y'all don't know. Going
Right.
to them on everything. They the superheroes, Incredible Hulk and Iron Man and all them.
Right.
That's crazy. I mean, this is always about being heroes of them. You notice that, man? They in everything, man. I mean, everything. Boxing, Rocky
Hey,
Balboa.
no. Hey, they the gods of Egypt too. Remember?
Remember that? But you see that? I said, when did they? Dude, I looked at that, General. I was like, oh my good. We don't even exist, bro. And how many of our people
Right.
don't even recognize that? They own everything, man. Gods of Egypt, man. They just movie the superheroes and they just amazing, man. Here on Earth, and we just nothing. We just going around. You know, back then they didn't used to have black toys, Barbie dolls and stuff, man. And that's why
Nah.
when that sister came on that mermaid, did that mermaid, boy, they got all over
Yeah.
her, man. That
Yeah.
was sad.
They didn't like that.
They
They're
didn't
like
like it.
they like where my porcelain Ariel at?
Oh boy, they didn't like. You see how many of them came out, and they don't understand this. I like now. Do you understand when y'all turn around and say we got to get rid of racism? In order for you to get rid of racism, you better get rid of the Most High because He's the one that
He put it together. Should I?
it's
It's evil in a city, and he not done it.
He the one did it. He said, "Look, my people gonna be above all people, all races on the face of the earth."
Right.
Right? He didn't say everybody gonna be equal, man. He said my people gonna be on top.
That's
And
right.
why we not on top? Hey, go to your history, man. 1950 segregation. Why did that happen? Because you got
Right.
another race of people saying they more superior. They don't
Sure.
understand that.
That's
They
right.
understand that, man. You know, the only
And you
thing
know
is,
what? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
wait, guy. I was done. Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, and then what's so funny is that when we did get established, like is they kind of forced us into integrating by
Mm,
they would give themselves like the top education. They would give them new
that,
books, new facility, all up there, and they would give
bro.
us the leftovers, which put us behind. And then
Uh-huh.
they're like, well, we can't give you all this stuff, but if you join our schools and we can
Uh-huh.
do this
Uh-huh.
and that, we can. And then when we tried to join their schools, you saw what happened to that little girl walking to school.
What
They were
happened to
spitting
you? Look
on
at
her,
that.
throwing
Everything.
rocks at her, did everything under the sun to keep her from their school.
Mm. You see
And
that? You hit that?
then look at us now. Look. We
Mm.
might not be at the very top, but this nation wouldn't be nothing without us.
You can't build a nation without us, man.
Right.
You can't. You can't. You know, and it's smooth that you said that because I talked to a sister named Victoria, and she just got her master's degree and everything. And I asked her, I said, "What do you know about the transatlantic slave trade?" She said, "What is that?" She says, "Is that the Holocaust? About what happened to the Jews?"
Mm.
What that tell you?
Mm.
Somebody done put up and said, "Listen, y'all need to know about this." That's why everybody know about the Holocaust, man. It's in schools, they teach you.
Yeah.
Why do they not teach our people what happened to us?
Hey.
Because if I can give you basketball, if I can give you football, if I can give you boxing, if I can give you all this acting, I'm signing your checks, giving you these
Right.
millions of dollars, I don't give a damn. You don't give a damn about what happened to your people.
Nope. You can see that. You can see that with a lot of these actors. They're like, yes, they fake woke.
Yeah,
Oh, I care about my people. When the black square went out, when Black Lives Matter,
yeah, yeah.
everybody was posting it, and then somebody gets killed, and they're like, oh, life is usual.
Yes, yep. That's true.
Man,
Just
at least I have to say, at least in like the time like Martin Luther King and civil rights, they stood up, they boycotted places. They were like, hey, we ain't gonna spend our money with you no more. And
yeah.
that made them think, and especially since so-called Black America is most of the spending. I think it was what the last time I checked, it was what $3 trillion. $3 trillion. I'm like, what? I like it.
Imagine
I ain't never known nobody to have that kind of money.
that.
Right?
Yeah, and it was effective too. That was effective when they stopped that and everything. Now imagine what happened if the people that got the platforms to make a act, to make an effort towards it, what it would do if you had these top actors and basketball players and football boycott and everything, man, it saves them. But see, they're not gonna do it, man, because they're giving them so much money, they can't think nothing else with that money, man. They're like, damn, do I got a $215 million check coming in the mail, man, telling me I get it for, oh damn, that's about 40-30 million a year. I'm good. I'm not worrying about what's happening to Ahmaud Arbery or George Floyd and all. They ain't worried about that, man. They like we up here with them in their class, man. With them. Y'all on the bottom, y'all down there. So y'all better make it up here like we did. Nah, brother, we gonna make it up there when Yahushua put us up there, and we're gonna stay.
Yeah.
We ain't coming back down here. Right? They gonna be down here, man, and we're gonna have a foot on their neck.
Yep. That's that Daniel 7:18 spirit right there.
That's right.
We're gonna take the kingdom.
We're gonna take that bum. Won't you believe it or not? We're taking it, man.
And
what we're gonna do? Take it. Take it, boy. Pull that switchblade out with that sickle on it, man. Sharp as, you know what I mean? It's gonna be sharp as hell. You know who I'm chasing. He's gonna be running from me, talking about, Chief, no. Oh man, he's gonna be bow-legged like a horse running, but I'm gonna catch his ass, man, for real.
Hey, remember last Sabbath, right? Yeah, you go put the saddle on them.
You remember that?
I remember that. Hey, wait, everybody, just wait. We dropping that video. We gonna drop that. We're gonna drop that video. We dropping that. I'm gonna try to drop that ASAP.
Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot all about that. You brought that up. It was the one that we said that when the sister and the brother came up, and I said, you know what type of slaves we was back then? I said we was the runaways because we woke up. You know what I mean? Like Nat Turner, that type of spirit. We was like, and I said they got mad because one night be like, damn, Cap gone. There you go. And the very next night, damn, there goes General. Lock these boys up.
Yeah.
We ain't settling, bro. We was the ones that woke up to the truth like Nat Turner, man. Like, wait a minute, you ain't the people, man. It's us. You know, and they had to hurry up and kill that brother off and everything, man. But hey, thank the Most High for the spirit, man, because he woke them up. And that's how it should be in all of us when we get woke up, man. Like, man, you shouldn't just want to stay asleep, man, and just be like the sister, man, that she had no clue. But she stood there for about 45 minutes to an hour to talk with me, but she had no clue. When I was going through them precepts with her, she was like, what? So wait a minute. Like, here you are with this big degree and everything. And the real degree is the Bible. It's the Bible, right? It's the word of the Most High.
Right.
That's your real master's degree. Right there, sister. That's more than this degree you getting in the masters. This right here is life. Those masters ain't nothing. When you die, all they do is put them PhD in the coffin with you. You have a nice day. See you bye. Gone.
Hey, I don't know if you remember, it was a long time ago on Kanye. It was on Kanye's album. He's like, yeah, I got all these degrees. These degrees keep me warm at night. Because that's all they were good for.
That's it. Nothing else.
Nothing else. When they say when they say, hey, we ain't hiring for that job, hey, that degree ain't gonna do nothing for you.
Ain't gonna do nothing for you at
all. I was transitioning out from the military, and one of the ladies who were talking to us, she had a master's in psychology, right? Spent all that time going to school for that. And then she told her, she said, hey, make sure you get something that's applicable in the world because I got this degree and now I'm working at Barnes and Nobles because ain't nobody hiring for. I was like, dang,
Damn.
hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
In debt. It puts you in debt when you go to these scholarships, man. So when you get
Yeah.
out, you don't get a job. You're like, damn. How can
But
these
shit,
people set up, man, and just have no understanding when it comes to, and they really think they the people of the Most High, man.
right.
And
But
in order for
just
you,
to
in
get
order
back,
for you, go
oh,
ahead,
go,
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just to get back to like you said, hey, that ain't gonna do you no good. But this right here,
That's right
this is
there.
life.
That's
This is
life.
life. It done taught me
That'll,
some good lessons. Some
that'll
good
never
lessons.
die. That'll never die.
Mhm.
It'll never die.
That's right.
It'll never
That's
get
right.
old. It'll never get wrinkled. That is life. That's what you call essential life, man.
That's
Right?
right.
A lot of people don't understand that. And I know even the sister, she was like, whoa, because she never understood that. She said, I never knew that. I mean, until you showed me that. Like they all thinking just go to church and you're straight in church.
Mm.
No, you're
That's
not.
what they teach.
You're
They
not.
teach.
That's why people still like they are lost. They know they keeping us lost by that, man.
Right.
They telling our people, go ahead, man, just keep living how you living. Just on Sunday, go to church and ask the Lord for forgiveness, man, and then get right back Monday, do it again.
Yeah.
That is not how it works for the Most High, man. Right?
Wow.
Those Spaniards and them Khazars and all they done did some work on God's people, man. I see why he said they gonna get double now. He like, you
Right.
mother, man. Good Lord.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, that was a little thing we did tonight, man. I like that, man, getting on there, especially breaking it down. Like you said, once we get that video up, man, I forgot all about that. That's Esau and his noodles. So that'll be
right.
great, man. So yeah, I kind of look forward to seeing that video, man. Like we got it's about 4 of them to put on there, right?
We got. I ain't not trying to. Hey, spoilers, people. we got we got a few videos for you. Hey, we're
Yeah,
gonna be dropping these. We're gonna be dropping these videos. Give you a little something to munch on during the week to tide you over to this Sabbath meal.
They waiting on. I got a couple of texts like, man, did y'all go out? Did y'all? I'm like, we'll break it off to them, man, to let them see it. And that's good. Hopefully they stay with that hunger and that desire to keep on and keep on and keep on. Right?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's really, and that's gonna be a wrap.
Oh, we I don't know if anybody else is celebrating, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna be keeping the Feast of Dedication coming up this Thursday evening at even, and hopefully we go live so we can just kind of come together and just even if you got questions or whatever, hey, you can hit the live, or if you want to congregate, hit the Gmail. It's right here on the screen. treeselect144@gmail.com. We love spending our time with the people, love teaching our nation.
That's right.
This is one of the joys of our life right here.
That's right.
I look forward to this. It ain't a job or a task like on Monday, boy. I'll be fretting going to work. And I'll be ready. I'll be ready for the Sabbath to come in. I'll be ready for the classes on Thursday. Man.
Happy, looking forward to it. Like, come on, man. It's crazy too because our people are gathered for all these other traditions by man, but never would gather for the things that the Most High put together for his people to do. And they don't understand how much of a fulfillment of joy it is to be amongst brothers and sisters, man, that has the same mind frame as you, man, the same spirit, man, and they have the same belief in the truth with you, man. And you can just stand there together, man. No one have to worry about nothing, man. That's the most beautiful and joyous and restoration time you can ever get in your life, man.
That's
I'm
right.
telling you, we done had some beautiful times with what's been going on in this past year, man. So, this is gonna be another memory lane to go down, man. We want everybody to be there, man. come and join us, man. Be family, meet your brothers, man. Meet these great men of the Lord, man. And and talk, congregate, man. Right, and have a good time, man. Because you never know what's gonna happen. Hey, man, we be having some fun, man. We be having some fun.
Man, we don't want to be leave. We don't want to leave.
Right.
I got work tomorrow. Got work tomorrow, man. I'm gonna be tired.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be tired, but hey, ain't nothing like the congregation of with your brethren. Like it says, it's a beautiful thing to join together and come together in unity.
That's right. That's right, man. That's the whole purpose of it, man.
Right there. And like you can do it for paganism, but not for the Most High. Hey, something wrong.
Something wrong. Something wrong, right? And hey, and they don't think that the Most High don't know. He knows, right? We gather for these Thanksgivings, Christmas parades, and parties and stuff. But when he puts something in, tell us that we have to do and we don't do it. Don't think he don't know, man. You got to love him more than that, man. All praises to the Most High, man.
Hey, before we get out of here,
you know what to do. Hit me with it, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Get it.
This Isaiah 61:3, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified.
That's right. All praise to Yahweh Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, man. That's who we are, man. Trees of righteousness, man, and going to be pointed by the Most High God, man, to do his work here in Knoxville. We're going to bring Knoxville under fire, man, for the Most High with this truth, man, because this gospel is where it's at. It's for his people, man. Right? I'm Chief Yahmea.
Hey, General Hezekiah. Hey, and we got Cap in the chat.
See him down here. I see him down here.
Yeah, we got you down in the chat.
We got you, King.
Hey, we the trees of righteousness.
That's right. Hey. All praise to Yahweh, man.
All right. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom.